Tee this up here. Great. Anyways, I'm founder and CEO of Goliath Resources. We're a precious metals project generator in the BC Golden Triangle and surrounding area. Business model is looking for brand new elephant-sized type discoveries that will certainly tick the boxes for senior mining companies that to do a joint venture, strategic investment, or potential takeout. Our team is, anyways, I'm keep going down. Anyways, well-seasoned folks in the resource sector. Recently, one of the group team members did a $53 million joint venture with Newmont Mining Corporation. So as we all know that early exploration is a high-risk game, and we're doing everything possible to hopefully mitigate that risk and increase our probability of success. So as mentioned, we're in the Golden Triangle. Surrounding area, we've got 4 projects: Gold Digger Bingo up in the Triangle, and Lucky Strike Copperhead closer to Terrace, BC. I should note the 2 around Terrace, Lucky Strike Copperhead, both have logging road access within 3 to 6 kilometers of the main power grid, highway, and infrastructure in Terrace and Smithers, BC. And what these projects, what they all have in common is they're all brand new discoveries. They're not rehashes of some old company, never been drilled before until us, is because the climate change and rapid recession of the glaciers, and more importantly, the permanent snowpack is no longer there. So these wouldn't have been discovered, let's say, even 5 years ago. It's been that dramatic of a melting process. First project, Lucky Strike. When we started out in, I guess when we optioned the properties 2017, we felt that this area had a porphyry target, and essentially we built the model where we did SkyTem, soil sampling grids, et cetera, and on October the 2nd, we announced actually there was 1 porphyry. In addition, there was actually a second porphyry. We called it the bullseye. You can see the red on the map here. We call it the red bullseye because essentially you can see the placer creeks that completely surround the zone, which has historical production of over 13,000 ounces between 1850 and 1920, with nuggets over 6 ounces. So clearly, we're at the headwaters of these placer creeks. We feel extremely confident that these porphyry targets are the source of this gold. So we did drill 1 hole late October. We were planning for 2. I went 500 meters at the Prosperity porphyry. The weather got the best of us, so we were only able to do the 1. So assays are pending. We'll have those out sometime in December. And then again, as the bonus, we found the Lorne Creek porphyry, which is off to the east here. That's very shallow, actually at surface, so we know for sure we're going to drill that next year. Building pads in June and drilling in July. Depending on the results from the Prosperity, we could be obviously expanding on that drill program. Here's a 3D model that we got from the SkyTem. As you can see, it's quite extensive, 2,500 meters by 1,500 meters. We know it's at least 500 meters deep. So geophysically, it's obviously textbook porphyry. We did do a soil grid on top of this zone, 2,000 meters by 400 meters, which kicked up over 7 grams gold, 557 ppm copper, bismuth, antimony, and moly. So geochemically, textbook porphyry. And then, as you can see to the left here, that's the Lorne Creek porphyry, much lower in the system. And again, we'll be drilling that definitely in July next year, and again, potentially Prosperity, depending on the results. Here's some of the results from the soil sampling grid. I mentioned to you over 7 grams gold, the copper, moly, bismuth, antimony, and then the channel cuts taken from various, the quartz, polymetallic quartz veining from, I guess, when the porphyry was being developed many years ago. So fairly high-grade stuff. We had a new discovery at Lucky Strike again. We got the bullseye up the top. We've got gold source down to the southeast. That's more of a VMS style, sort of quark formation, Hazelton volcanics, where late in the season, 2017, we found a outcrop breccia. Guys took some samples, ran some high-grade material. We went back there this year, and we took a 2-meter chip sample, ran almost 1 ounce gold and a multi-ounce silver. We will be drilling that in July as well. Okay. Next target, Copperhead. This is a little bit further to the southeast, closer to Smithers. Again, this one's about 6 clicks to the main power grid. It's got logging road access, highway, and about 35 clicks to Smithers for infrastructure. And there we were drilled at the Copper King trend. We put in 4 holes. What we're seeing there is widespread volcanic breccia at surface with grades up to 8% copper and over 45 grams per ton silver. So the top zone here, we pumped in, put in 4 holes, 3 pads, 300 meter spacing. Those assays are pending as well. So all of these holes that we put in this year started in mineralization, and the question is, what sort of intersect are we going to get, and what is the grade going to be? So depending on the outcome here, we could be expanding the drill program in 2019. Here's a sample of the 8% copper that was taken in 2016. We've got some potassic alteration at surface, which is basically, it's splattered everywhere at Copperhead. And then we got this 11-meter chip sample that was running over 4% copper, 45 grams per ton silver. And then here's a sort of a cut of that chip sample, polished, and that's sort of what it looks like. So it looks pretty juiced up rock. And again, we set up one of the pads actually right beside this chip sample where it was taken from. Share structure, roughly 89 million shares. We've traded roughly 90 million shares since April with an average price about 19 cents. Management's got about 26% of the company. And so we trade roughly 3.5 million shares, 300,000 to 500,000 shares a day. Why invest in Goliath? Great quote by Rick Rule, looking for project generators, which essentially we are. And obviously Eric Sprott is a huge advocate of the triangles, personally invested at least 45 million and much higher amounts. I'm sure this is what I would find on record on the web. And so to the project generating side of the equation, we have signed a number of NDAs, CAs. We've had 5 of the largest mining companies come and visit our site this year and are quite excited as to what our results are going to be. We had one there in 2017 as well. I'm not sure if anyone knows the GT Gold story. They had porphyry. They're in the triangle as well. They're north of us. Basically, he's trading around 22 cents. They hit their porphyry in 2017 within a very short period of time. Went to 276, have been about a 13-bagger for the investor if they sold at the peak. Another golden triangle story, Garibaldi, GGI, trading around 12 cents. What they had was this breccia, volcanic breccia at surface they hit. Stock went from 12 cents to 5.27, so that was about a 44-bagger. And the reason why I bring these two up is to show that Goliath has the potential to be from dimes to dollars, because there's 2 perfect examples as to the market paying up for new discoveries. I took the market caps of these companies pre-drilling results, combined them, because essentially we have a porphyry target at Lucky Strike that we drilled, and this volcanic breccia at surface that we drilled at Copperhead. It's about 39 million. And we're currently trading at $7 million. So even right now, there's a potential, 3 to 4 times lift at this particular juncture. If we do hit, we could be trading at a 10x from here. Currently, the market caps on these things are quite strong. GT Gold, 162 million, and GGI at 117 million. Here's the chart. Again, we've traded a lot of stock since April. We had a high of 33 cents. I think 1 week we traded almost 11 million shares. We do have a fund in from Toronto. They own over 10%. We've got a German fund in with a bunch of their PAs as well. I think they've got about 800 grand put into the company, participating in the private placements and bought in the market. As well, we have a fund out of Montreal that has a small portion as well. Lastly, this is Gold Digger. This is up in the triangle. This actually borders with, if anyone knows, the Dolly Varden mine, Hecla. We found breccia 2017, again, high grade. We went back in this year. You can see really decent looking rock. We opened up the area. We took extensive channel cuts, and if they run high grade mineralization, again, sort of SK Creek, BMS style, we will be drilling this in 2019 also. And I did it under 10 minutes. Perfect. We're at D17. If you want to come by and get some more information, please do. Thanks for your attention.